Welcome to the Maps 101 tutorial on using the Map Sketch tool. If I had to choose one simple resource out of the entire site of Maps 101 that I consider to be the most important for the classroom, it would be the Map Sketch feature. So to show you how the Map Sketch works, I'm going to open up our map collections, which pulls up all the different types of maps that we have within 101. And as a history teacher, specifically, the outline maps tend to be the most important. So I'm going to open up the outline maps. These are blank outline maps. You can get these either in shaded relief or without the shaded relief. And when you open this up, again, you can specifically pick which area you're looking for. And I'm just going to use a world map for our purposes. But any of our maps, whether they are outline maps, historical maps, state maps, it does not matter. Any of our maps that you find within Maps 101, you will have this map sketch option. So look for this icon right here. You will also see the map sketch option available underneath our news articles in the GNN section. You will see the map sketch option available within the reference atlas. So wherever you see this map sketch, this is how you can use that in the classroom. It's really there for students, and I know that having technology in the classroom, one of the major initiatives is to have your students interact with technology, and this is a great way to do that. Now on our outline map specifically, you can get the outline map with text or without text, whatever your preference is and what your need is for the classroom. And really this is your way to create a document that you will have that you don't have to keep going back and creating over and over again. You do have ways to save this document. So whether you're creating something for your classroom, maybe it's a little exit quiz you want to put together or a bell ringer, or it's something you want your students to do, you can use this map sketch tool and create it once. And your kids can do this digitally, and you can save it on your computer as a PDF. You can email this document back and forth. There's a lot of ways you can keep up with this document. So I've opened up a outline map of the world without any text on it. This is a very, again, user-friendly. It's very intuitive, especially for students. When you open this up, you'll notice down the left side of the screen, these are your options. These are the things that you can do. And in essence, the map sketch is where you can add text and symbols to your map. Now, I will say the number one question I get about this image as it comes up here is, can you make that map any larger? There is not currently a zoom feature available on this particular page. So what I suggest for teachers to do is to go into their internet settings and just increase the zoom of your screen, and that will therefore make this map a little bit larger. That's the easiest way to do so. So what we have down this left side here are your tools. I'm going to click on the text tool first. So this is where if you want to maybe put a title on here. So I'm going to use a world history lesson on the Transatlantic Trade Network. So the first thing I want if I'm passing this out to my kids, or if I want my kids to label it, I'm going to tell them to put the title on there. So I'm just going to put Transatlantic Trade. Oops, excuse me. So you type it in, and to make sure that the print stays, you'll notice there's a little bit of a text box here. If you simply click somewhere else right now, what you have written or what you have typed is going to disappear. So once you get finished typing what you want to type, you make sure you hit enter. That will then make that permanent. And then if you want to add more text elsewhere, you just click on the text tool once again and do so. If you're creating a bell ringer, perhaps you could put your directions up here on the side. So you can type anywhere on the map you want to. With the text, you can also, if you look at the top of the screen, you can choose the size of your font if you want it to be bold and italic. Maybe I want my students to label the 7 continents. As a world history teacher, that's what I had my kids do on the first day of class every single year. And you could just go in and just put, a number 1 here and do your enter. You can also change the color. If you'll notice at the bottom of the left side, there's a color palette. So you can change that over. Maybe I want it in red. I'm going to go back to my text tool and put in a 2 here. So that's another option that you can label and have things printed out. If I'm giving this as an assignment to student, the pencil tool is exactly what you think it is. I have horrible handwriting, so this is not necessarily the best tool for me, but I showed you how you kind of scribble on there. You have a line tool, or if you want arrows, you can use arrows. Perhaps I want my students to draw the triangular trade network. What continents does it connect? So I can have them go from Europe to Africa to the Americas and back. So you can have them draw that on there. One item my students typically got confused on was the middle passage and what role it played in this triangular trade network. So I'm going to change my color. Maybe I want them to draw the middle passage on there, and this time I'm going to use the arrow. Once again, you'll notice you can choose how wide you want your arrow to be. So maybe I'll go up just 1. The middle passage can be drawn on there, say this way. And then what you can have your students do, you notice here you also have a rectangular tool, a circle tool. Once again, I'm going to just change my color. We'll go with kind of a pinky purple. But maybe I want my kids to put a key in for this map. So they can draw a box. They can go back and change it to blue if I want them to put my arrow for the middle passage on there. Draw that arrow in there. They can go back to their text tool and type in middle passage. So there's just an absolute ton of options of what you can do here with all these tools. And then finally, the last little tool you have available, they're called stamps, but these are your symbols you can put on your map. I will say that right now the symbols that are available are really geared more towards elementary school. If you're an English language arts teacher, I love the outline maps for being able to go in and plot the setting of a book. So you can find ideas up here in your stamps to put on there. So you can toggle through these arrows to see what different stamps are available. And then the other option, if there's not a stamp that you would use, have your kids create their own. If I want to show something about perhaps money, want my kids to show something about where wealthy nations are, for example, all you need to do is go back and click whatever color you want. Again, they can use that scribble tool, and maybe I'll put dollar signs in to show wealth. However you want to do that. And again, they could put the key here. So a lot of options on what you can do with this map sketch feature. And then finally, again, this is something that's hoping to allow teachers to create documents that they don't have to constantly go back and create. So you can go in, you can save this image, or you can print this image off. Now, if you're having your students go in and work on a document and you want them to print it out to hand in to you, then make sure you have them use this text tool to put their name on it, because once it prints out, there's going to be very hard to tell whose is who. So always make sure your students type their name on here. Even, if you're really into tech integration and you want your students to email the assignment, the same idea applies. Always make sure your students type their name on there. If you click on the Save Image thumbnail, you're going to get two options. So I clicked on the little floppy disk, and you'll see here over on the left-hand side again, you can either download this or you can email it. So again, if you're really into tech integration, you can have your students email you their work. What will happen is they'll get a box up to type in your email address, and it will be emailed to you through our system. So again, that's why it's imperative that you have them put their name on there. If you just want to download something to your own computer, you can just push download, and then from there you can go to print. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, make sure you contact your Maps 101 rep.